Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Sandra and I'm Apero, and I'm always here for business. The Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, has now fixed a flat figure for exchange rates at the country's ports. For the next 3 months, the dollar will now be exchanged at 5 cedis, 80 pesos, only for purposes of trading at the various ports. The GRA, however, added recent directive by the Vice President for a 50% reduction in benchmark value for general goods does not, and then it will not affect vehicle spare parts in the country. There's more in the following report.
The Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority disclosed to the traders that the Vice President has directed a fixed rate of 5 cedis, 8 pesos for the next 3 months for port transactions. The news was greeted with joy from spare part dealers at Abossey-Okai as they believe the decision will help stabilize prices on imported goods. The spare part dealers say Ghanaians will enjoy the impact of reductions. Clement Boateng is co-chair of the Spare Part Dealers Association.
Okay, because since last week we've seen that the dollar has been pegged at 5.08, and that is what they have been, using as far as the calculation of duties, are concerned. They're supposed to review it every Tuesday, and as at yesterday, they still haven't reviewed it. They are still using the 5.08. So we are comfortable with that arrangement. And when you go there paying high import duties, you definitely pass it on to the consumer. So the effect that we will enjoy will be a reduction of prices, and I'm assuring the public that from this week going into next week, if we monitor and we see that really with regards to goods, import duties has come down, we are going to embark on a serious education with our members to also try as much as possible, to reduce their goods for the benefit of we the Ghanaians.
Meanwhile, Commissioner of Customs Isaac Crenshaw has allayed fears by a section of the traders that reduction in import duties won't affect their products.
Document or information on the social media concerning some benchmark values, and which some of the Abossey-Okai spare part traders were alarmed, and other traders who did not see their product on that benchmark. But we are standing on this platform to allay the fear that just as a tip of the iceberg. Excellency said all products of imported products, and therefore if you bring anything, you are going to look at our benchmark in our system to see whether you are telling us the actual truth of your transaction.
The tour by the Commissioner and team was to familiarize itself with challenges of traders at the ports. Ebenezer Sabotage reports for Joy Business.
Away from the poor performance of the Ghana cedi against some major trading currencies has marginally pushed up March inflation rate to 9.3% from 9.2% in February, according to the Ghana Statistical Service. Over reliance on imported food items against locally produced ones partially contributed to the new rate.
In March 2019, the year-on-year inflation rate for imported items of 11.1% was 2.6 percentage points higher than that of locally produced items with a rate of 8.5%. The main price drivers for the non-food inflation rate were recreation and culture, rate of 40.1%, transport, a rate of 13.7%, clothing and footwear, rate of 13.3%, furnishing, household equipment, and routine maintenance, a rate of 12.2%. And the drivers for the food group inflation rate were coffee, tea, and cocoa with a rate of 13%, mineral water, soft drinks, fruit, and vegetable juices, a rate of 11.1%, fruits, the rate of 10.2%, and meat and meat products with a rate of 9.1%. All regions, namely Upper West, Brong-Ahafo, Western, and Ashanti, recorded inflation rates that were above the national average of 9.3%. The Upper West region recorded the highest year-on-year inflation rate of 11.4%, followed by the Brong-Ahafo region, the rate of 10.2%, while the Upper East region recorded the lowest inflation rate of 7.9%.
So apart from imported food items, transportation, recreation, household, furniture and clothing recorded higher rates of 9.7% above the general level. Upper West, Brong-Ahafo, Western and Ashanti regions all recorded inflation rates higher than the national average. To other stories now, and President of the Institute of Internal Auditors, Julia Boaji-Wiafe, says the institute has begun processes to get legislation to back its activities for more effective services. She disclosed this to Joy Business at the Institute's annual National Internal Audit and Governance Conference in Accra.
Under the theme Aligning Governance, Risk Management and Compliance for Institutional Impact, the annual National Internal Audit and Governance Conference brought together internal auditors and other stakeholders to share ideas on how to enhance the practice of internal auditing in the country. According to the chair of the Public Accounts Committee, James Klucha-Veggie, there's a need for a legal instrument to back the institute to make their work more effective.
The issue about regulation mentioned by the Madam President, to be difficult to do that if you don't have any legal backing. So what we need to do as a body is to have a legal backing so that we can be recognized as the institute that will probably even train internal auditors or auditors in general in our country.
Commenting on the issue of legislation, the president of the Institute of Internal Auditors, Juliet Aboaji-Wiafe, said the institute has already begun processes to get a legal backing.
So even at the international level, we've been discussing it, and most countries, especially African countries, want it. So we have to go by. It's going to help us. But we'll make sure that what goes into the law, the government will not have control over us. We are an institute. We are not an agency. It's not a public institution. It's both public and private. So we have to make sure that government does not have control, but we just need a legal backing from Parliament. I mean, we've started. I mean, look, we've registered. We registered under the Professional Bodies Act. Now we are going to register under the Companies Limited by Guarantee, and then from there we'll move to Parliament. We'll try and.
Guest speaker at the event, Minister for Sanitation, Honorable Cecilia Abnad-Dapa, stressed the need for quality auditors to curb mismanagement at various levels of the economy.
I believe they are an essential component of the governance structure. Nobody can run away from that. And they do good service in the corporate world as well. That's why I suggested to them not to relent, but to make sure that they give of their best. Because without their guidance, we can't have good corporate institutions, as well as we will not succeed effectively in our governance structure. They have a role to play. They need the backing of the Act of Parliament, and we'll all encourage them to do that.
For Joy Business, Sheila Tamaklu.
Let's do more stories now. And Peasant Farmers Association has welcomed government planting for export policy. Details in our local summary.
The World Bank has predicted that Ghana's economy will witness strong growth in 2019, driven largely by an expected increase in oil and gas production. Similar to the projection by the Ghana government, the bank projects that the value of total economic activity measured by gross domestic product in 2019 will grow by 7.6%. The Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana has welcomed government's new planting for exports and rural development policy. Government will launch the new policy in 2 weeks' time. The program, according to the Agriculture Ministry, is to increase the export volumes of 6 tree crops, including rubber, coffee, cashew, coconut, and oil palm. The Ghana Investment Promotion Center has yet again been adjudged the 2018 Best Investment Promotion Agency in West and Central Africa. This award makes it 4 for the center, as it had earlier grabbed the same award for 2015, 2016, and 2017.
For an update on the IMF Economic Conference there, George Uafe is on standby. Do stay tuned. I'll be back.